Mr. Tolly here. Fortune Cookie 45 LC recently did a video on differences between large and small pistol primers in 45 ACP. And it just so happens, as I watched his video, I just finished loading up some small primer 45 ACP. Personally, I don't think there's a lot of difference. But he kind of proved that there was. So, I have small and large primer 45 ACP brass. I'm going to load them both up with exactly the same load, same bullet, and shoot them out of the same gun across the chronograph and see what we get. So, I'm going to load up, I got 30 rounds here that I'm going to load up as soon as I find the right primer on. And I'm loading, both the other ones were loaded on this press too, so I'm using the same press. Make sure that's seated up. Same powder. Same everything. I'm going to double check my length. There's 0 at first. About 1.2 inches. Oops. Yeah, that ran through the cedar. Alrighty. So I'm going to go ahead, get the rest of these loaded up, and what you'll see next will be these over here where they usually go. Some range footage. So stay tuned. At the range to test these large and small primer loads out. I'll post the chronograph data at the end. I'm going to shoot 2 targets downrange there with the chronograph. I move my chronograph just a touch, or move me a touch, one or the other. I'm going to do small primer on the right, small primer on the left, large primer on the right. We'll look at accuracy. I'm shooting from my Caldwell rest, and test gun is my 1911 Commander. My Shooter's Arms Commodore. Been a pretty good gun so far. I tote this in the wintertime. So we'll get a look at, it's a 4 1/4 inch barrel. So we'll get a look at speed and the group sizes. So I'm going to start off with 2 5-round groups, and then I'll show you the results from those real quick. But I don't know, they're about the same group size. The left was a small pistol primer, and that averaged about 814 feet per second. On the right was the large primer, and that averaged 893 feet per second. So I'm going to shoot some more, and we'll see what my average is. I think I've got almost 24, 25 rounds left of each. I'm going to shoot them all, make up, and see what the averages are on those. So, we'll be back. 29 rounds in each target. So if I could find something that would group like the small primers, which I think all I'd probably have to do is slow down the large primers a little bit. But you know what? That's for another video. I'll try to get the large primers down to the speed of the small primers, which shouldn't take much, 10 of a grain or so. Got another guy on range. Anyway, there's more shooting to do, so we'll be back. Hey guys, Mr. Tolly, back from the range. Now I'm using this platform, I'm trying to develop a load for USPSA. Because sometimes I like to shoot major and I like to shoot single stack in my 45. So, that's what we're kind of looking at. I think the PF on the data is for power factor, which I just calculated my own and put it in here. My average power factor for the small pistol load was 185. But we had over here, I don't know if you can see my cursor, I hope you can. We had an 814.6 average feet per second with a spread of 26. And that's on our small pistol load. Now I did shoot these again with 24 rounds. Let's look at the small data. Small pistol primer. And this had a spread of 61 and an average of 829. So our average went up, but so did our standard deviation. Personally, I don't understand the standard deviation, and I'm hoping Fortune Cookie 45 LC will watch this video and can kind of explain that. It would be one of those kind of things. Chronograph data would be something that we all would like to understand better, I think. So, that was that. The large pistol primers brought me an average of 887 with a standard deviation of 9.64 and a spread of 41 for the 24 round group. On our 5 round group with the large primers, our average was 893 with a standard deviation of 10.96 and a spread of 30. Our spread was a little bigger. Our power factor averaged out at 203. To shoot major in USPSA, major power factor, you need to be at a minimum 165 for your power factor. So, power factor, I'll tell you this real quick, but we'll do a whole different video on USPSA. Power factor is calculated by bullet mass in grains times your velocity in feet per second, and then you divide it all by 1,000. So, that's how we figure power factor. Anyway, I thought that the results were pretty interesting to see the differences in our feet per second. Our average feet per second of 814 for the small primer, and the large primer was 893. I have to attribute that the primers I used were the Cellier and Below. I think it's French, I don't know. Anyway, they were all the S&B primers, both small and large, so I tried to keep things as close to the same as I could. The loads were the same. The brass was, the small pistol brass was all Federal. Don't know why it was that way, it just turned out that way. So, this is what we got. The small pistol brass, or the small pistol, by slowing it down a little bit, my group was a little better than with the large primer. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the large primer data, or large pistol primers, and I'm going to try to drop down to the 800 foot per second range. I like to keep my power factor above minimum by quite a bit. So I might go a little slower and try to drop that power factor just a little bit, but we'll see where that gets me. I was using tight group powder, which didn't give me the greatest of case fill, so I think I'm going to go back to using Unique and see what Unique does. Maybe we'll run this test again with Unique. How does that sound? We'll see. Anyway, stay safe, and God bless, and Fortune Cookie 45 LC, if you're watching this, please explain some of the chronograph data that we get. Thanks for watching.